Hi, welcome to Zgadgetreview. With the imminent exit of LG from the smartphone market, it seems like there's going to be a void that a company should figure out a way to fill in. And I think that that company might be Sony. Now, I know Sony isn't known for their wild experimentation when it comes to smartphone form factors or the innovation with features and things like that. But in reality, that doesn't seem to be something that people are going to miss. If people were drawn to those kind of things, LG will be a wildly successful company when it comes to smartphones, which clearly it isn't, based on everything that has been happening in the last few weeks. For those videos, you can go here or in the description section. Sony has been making smartphones for years. And for a while there, it seemed like to them was a category that didn't really mean much to them. And they didn't really put that much effort into it, to the point that seeing Sony smartphones was rare. I think I've only known one person who owned a Sony phone, and that was way back in the day. And that was my grandma. Sony has been changing that. Sony has been working towards making their phones more relevant, to make them more competitive in the market. And with LG's exit, Sony could very well squeeze in there and start working their magic on phones that are good and maybe better than what Samsung can offer, since we're talking about Android phones. I will say iPhones as well. And the reason why I'm saying this is because there's a leak of the upcoming Sony Xperia 1 third edition. So the third iteration of this phone. And this phone, just looking at it, looks beautiful. Looks like a beautiful phone, unlike what Samsung is offering right now. I personally don't like that last 2 or 3 Galaxy models that they have made with the gigantic bump in the back and all that. It's not my cup of tea. So we have some renders from voice.com. This is from Steve Hemmerstoffer, and hopefully I'm saying that correctly. But here are some of the images of what the phone will look like. So what we have here is a glass phone in the front and the back. It has a flat edge metal frame. Seems like the phone is going to be a 6.5-inch display with a 21.9 CinemaWide 4K HDR OLED display. It looks like the bezels are going to be super thin and with a very slim forehead and chin. It's going to be a triple lens camera setup. The camera is going to be a Z's or size. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. Rear camera setup with a Z size T coating. The Z's or size T coating means that it optimizes light efficiency when it's required the most to pass through the glass into the camera lens. So it's supposed to make better images. Now, some of the coolest things that I think are going to separate this phone from Samsung phones and iPhones is that, well, not everything. It's going to be a 5G phone, because every single phone that's coming out is going to be a 5G phone. It has a headphone jack, which the bigger companies for some reason have decided that headphone jacks should die and not exist. I am completely against that idea. And so the fact that this phone is going to include a headphone jack is a welcome thing on a premium phone. It's going to have dual front firing speakers. What does that mean? It means that when you're holding your phone like this, watching content or anything, you have the speakers on the front towards you. So when you're holding the phone like this, you're not covering the speaker on the sides, or you have to hold the phone like this so you can get a stereo sound, which is like on this one, you have one speaker here and one speaker here. So the sound is supposed to go around to your ear and here. It's a lot better to have 2 speakers facing you at all times. Now, the power button is going to have a fingerprint sensor in it. The phone is also going to include something that companies are also getting rid of, a micro SD card slot. So you'll be able to add more memory to this phone without any issues. You won't have to rely on the cloud or pay extra to Google or Dropbox or any of those other companies. You'll be able to rely on your own methods of extra storage, which again, for a premium phone, it should have. Now, the expectations for this phone, that obviously is just a guess, is that it should have a Qualcomm Snapdragon 888. It is also expected to have 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage. which is what last year's version of this phone had. But obviously, this one will have a faster processor. So we don't have pricing or anything like that yet because obviously these are leaks. But last year's phone, the Sony Xperia 1 2, sold for $1,200. I mean, it dropped in price later on, but that will put it around the same ballpark that the Galaxy S21 Ultra 5G is. So if this phone was to come out around the same price, it will be directly competing with that phone. Of course, it could always come out at a little bit lower. So if it came out between 1,000 and 1,100, which I know is a weird price, but then it will compete directly with the Galaxy S21 Plus and the Galaxy S21 Ultra, and it could pick up buyers from either one of those sites, people that are interested in either phone, that are looking for a phone that has more features than the Galaxy phones can offer, being headphone jack and micro SD slot. Maybe when we get more information on the phone, I'll do a comparison between the Sony Xperia and the Galaxy S21, 21 Plus, 21 Ultra to see how they stack up against each other. Make sure you subscribe for that. So yeah, I feel like Sony is finally taking the smartphone business seriously, and they're starting to actually come out with appealing phones, appealing design that will actually drive people to want to look to their phones and to buy their phones. Sadly, up to this point, Sony doesn't seem to have put a lot of marketing and stuff into their upcoming smartphones. But hopefully, with what's happening with LG, they'll see that spot and swoop in and start marketing their phones as an alternative to Samsung, in this case, as a premium brand. I mean, they do have the brand Sony, which has a lot of weight. What do you think about the Sony Xperia 1 3 or 3rd edition or the third or whatever you want to call it? Is this something that looks appealing to you? Will you buy a Sony phone? Will this be the first time you buy a Sony phone? If I did buy this phone, that will be the first time ever that I bought a Sony phone. And the truth is that it looks like an appealing alternative. Let me know in the comment section. That's it for me. Go ahead and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Go ahead and hit that bell so you can be alerted every time we have new videos. And thank you very much for watching.